So hi everyone, we are Marta and Ina from Keys2Success-Coaching. Welcome to our Exploring Female Leadership, our series where we spotlight incredible women leaders. See, in this series, we talk to women who are making big moves, shaping industries, and really redefining leadership. We want to focus on real stories and breaking barriers and leading authentically, right? And we are really excited about today's guest, Lilly Beshore. Thanks so much for being here today, Lilly. It's honestly so great to have you.
It's wonderful to be here, Ina.
So Lilly is a global business leader with experience running billion-dollar revenue programs at Google and Meta. And Lilly is also known for aligning sales, product, and marketing around a shared vision, and she is known for being a truly authentic leader. So today we'll hear from Lilly's insights on leadership and career growth, and we'll also talk about navigating challenges in really fast-paced industries, especially as a woman. So we'll deep dive now how she built her career and really made impact. Let's jump into it, Marta. Over to you.
Thank you, Ina. And Lily, welcome. We are very excited to have you here.
Thanks, Marta.
Let's dive in. Lily, you've led at the highest level in tech, bringing together complex teams and also driving major growth. But at the core of it all is your leadership approach. Let's start there. How do you define great leadership today, especially in a world that's constantly changing?
Yeah, thanks so much, Marta. This is a great question. I think more than ever, great leadership is about three things: clarity, relationships, and growth. First, you need clarity to help guide your team into the future. People do their best work when they understand the why behind the what, and also how their work fits into the bigger picture. Simply put, people run faster towards a goal they understand. Second, relationships truly matter. I spent a lot of time coaching my teams on building those relationships. How to have the first intro one-on-one with a stakeholder you've never met, how to cultivate trust with senior leaders over time, and even thinking about how to develop relationships with peers and managers on your own team. And finally, I think great leaders today must focus on growth. And I mean growth in all sense of the word. How do you create a culture and environment where people can learn to grow in their career, having a growth mindset and not having fixed beliefs? And of course, the actual nuts and bolts of growing your business and making it 10 times better next year than it is today. I think that's what defines a great leader today.
Thank you. I really like that your definition of leadership, Lily, centers on clarity, relationships, and a growth mindset. It's a very powerful combination. Let's build on that by talking about your own journey. You've navigated demanding environments at BCG, Google, and Meta, which are often male-dominated industries. What advice would you give to women who want to advance and stand out as leaders, but at the same time want to stay authentic to themselves?
Yeah, my best advice is that as you grow your career, focus on making the jumps to the places where you're seeing women succeed. You might not have that luxury early in your career when you're straight out of college, but as you get more skills and experiences, you can be even more intentional about where you want to go. And I've always just found it's a lot easier to advance when there's other women who've already done it. At Google, for example, I was hired into an amazing team led by women. I remember sitting in that interview process and just feeling so welcomed. My future manager genuinely wanted to hear my ideas, and my future skip level used that interview to tell me about the culture on her team. My entire time at Google is surrounded by some of the most incredible women I've ever met and who set up many different types of models for success. And I actively sought out working with those women. You don't have to work at a company with a lot of female leaders, but it's a lot easier to advance if you do.
Wow, sounds like an amazing experience. So Lilly, you've led some really impressive transformations, turning around underperforming programs and launching new revenue streams worth like over 100 million. When you're driving that kind of a big change, what mindset shift do you think are the most important ones for leaders to make?
Yeah, one of the sayings I'm a big fan of is, if you've always done what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. I've been through a few major business transformations now, and if I think about what those had in common, I think it's basically three things. Transformation happens when generally things are not going well, there's a new leader, and there's org-wide appetite for change. For me, the thing that's most exciting about pulling off these transformations is just the process of building momentum. Most of the time that I've led a major transformation, I'd had little or no dedicated headcount. But by sharing a big idea and how we could go out and achieve it, I've been able to recruit super passionate people who are just very scrappy and had a really strong will to succeed. These are the people who don't care if something's been tried before and it didn't work out. They're the type of people for whom failure just isn't an option. Finding these people and nurturing their natural ambition, I definitely think is the key to pulling off a major transformation.
Yeah, people with a growth mindset. So you mentioned you love solving problems and building with great people, growth-minded people. What is one piece of advice you would give leaders building new high-performing teams?
Yes. First of all, I love building from 0 to 1. If I think back about what's worked well, my biggest piece of advice is to build slowly and think about the different positions on your team the way that a sports coach would. When you're building a new team, each new person is a seismic event, and that person can either make the whole team better or it can cause the team to spiral. I think early in my career, I focused too much on hiring for domain expertise and not enough on finding great general athletes. Now when I hire, I always think to myself, there's 30 seconds left on the clock and we're losing the game. Is this the type of person who's already checked out and blaming others? Or are they the type of person who inspires everyone to rally to the finish no matter the outcome? If you've got those types of people on your team, you can truly accomplish anything.
I completely agree, Lily, and I love your coaching mindset, treating each hire as a pivotal move and prioritizing people who elevate the team, not just themselves. Let's see, from building great teams to building a bold career. You've made some impressive transitions, as we were talking, right, from BCG to tech giants like Google and Meta. What would you say to women considering a major career transition themselves, whether if it's an industry or function or maybe level?
Yeah, I've been through a lot of career shifts myself, and one of the things I urge people to do is take more risks earlier in their career. Try new things, follow a manager to a startup. If it works out, great. And if it doesn't, you can easily bounce back early in your career. I'll give you 2 quick examples. I interviewed for Facebook in 2008. When I told grown-ups at the time that I was thinking about joining Facebook, people were absolutely horrified. They didn't understand the appeal of joining a social media app that didn't have a business model at the time. But joining Facebook in 2008 would have been a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it was one I missed out on. I'll give you a totally different example. I was one of the first people to sign up to move to Google Boulder from headquarters in Mountain View. Back in 2017, Boulder was truly the land of opportunity. Housing prices were inexpensive, gas and food were cheap, and there were literally hundreds of open roles at Google Boulder. Those of us who took the risk greatly benefited. It was basically like a startup within Google. It was a time that you try for a manager role or try to do a totally different job simply by raising your hand. Those who waited to move to Boulder ended up with far fewer options for roles, way fewer opportunities for advancement, and also a more expensive housing market. So this was definitely a case of first mover advantage. I definitely recommend take risks, especially early in your career.
Awesome. Lily, as Marta mentioned, you've had a front row seat to leadership in some of the world's top companies, BCG, Meta, Google. So based on your journey, what is one common myth about leadership that you believe especially women should rethink?
Yes, being too comfortable in your role for too long. When I look back at times in my career where it lulled a bit, it's because I got a little bit comfortable and I didn't push myself to grow more in that environment. I maybe didn't seek out as many new opportunities, didn't actively grow my list of champion sponsors, and it just kind of felt nice to be where I was. I think there was a long time in tech where people could stay in the same role for years and that was celebrated and rewarded. Now, I think especially in 2025, it's a major career risk and liability. I saw so many friends recently over years that were laid off at companies, and it became incredibly difficult for them to explain why they stayed in a role for years. I myself have experienced a few times that when you get too comfortable with the company, that's when the company or leadership changes and you need to change with it. So definitely look around corners and keep trying to grow, even when it's really hard to do.
Okay, so don't get too comfortable out there, ladies. And now looking ahead, what advice do you give women as they advance in their careers?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's so many different paths to success, but one thing I often coach people on is that what got you here won't get you there. Early in your career, being great at your job is 99% of it. Do good work, get promoted. But I find that a lot of women get stuck as mid-level ICs because they're waiting for people to notice. They think that because their manager is giving them great feedback, it's the same thing as having org-wide impact. And I think there's a lot of disconnect between what your manager sees and what might be visible to the broader leadership team. I recommend for anyone at any level, people need to know who you are, what you stand for, and what you've done recently. And the more people who know this, the better. On a side note, I'll also just say, don't forget to have fun. There's 2 books I highly recommend. Clay Christensen's How Will You Measure Your Life and Bill Perkins' Die With Zero. They've been really strong influences in my life, and I think they're really good reminders of the purpose of a living and the meaning of your life.
Wow, Lily, thank you so much for such an inspiring and honest conversation. You've really shown us that leadership is not just about where you've been, it's about staying curious, choosing growth, and lifting others as you go. From building $1 billion businesses to changing how teams collaborate, your story is a very powerful reminder that women can lead with both heart and ambition. And it's possible to rewrite the rules and at the same time stay true to yourself. For everyone watching, here are a few powerful takeaways from today's conversation. Clarity and relationship are key. Take risk and stay uncomfortable. Invest in people, not just performance. We hope Lily's story leaves you feeling empowered to take bold steps, grow intentionally, and support women rising around you. Stay tuned for more inspiring voices in our Exploring series. And until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep leading forward. Thank you.